Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos. So today I have for you an Amazonas deck, and shout outs to my boy Guns Blazing. He posted his version of the Amazonas deck earlier today, and I was kind of laughing because I was like, man, now I can't post mine, but I already have the material, so why not go ahead and post it. The decks are similar because we only have a limited amount of Amazonas cards, but they still, they're still a little bit different. So I'm running balance. I have one of the paladin, which is all we can get from my. That's also kind of why it took me a while to get this deck out, because I had to level my up to all the way to 40. So we run one of the Amazonas trainee. Same reason. It's a one-of. It's a cool card. It can lock your opponent off of graveyard play. If they have anything like a Marilease or like a Blue Dragon Summoner, you can send it to the deck instead of the graveyard, and it also gains 200 attack. So we run 3 of the Sage because she is so good. Being able to destroy back row just by attacking with it, it's awesome. It doesn't even have to destroy the monster. If you run into something that has high defense, you can still destroy a back row. If you pair this with Super Rush, because you still attacked, even though Super Rush destroys the monster before the damage step, or at the beginning of the damage step, you still get her effect off. So we'll run 3 of them. 2 of the Amazonas Tiger. It's a really good card. On summon it's 1500. If you have an Amazonas, it goes all the way up to 1900. It protects your other Amazonas monsters from being attacked. So it's a cool card, but the fact that you can only control 1 kind of limits what you can do with it. So I think 2 is a good number. 1, it's not enough in my opinion. So I went ahead and ran 2 of them. And then we have 3 of the Amazonas Swordswoman. She is really good as well. 1500 attack, 1600 defense. Her effect can win you games. Her effect alone won me so many games. This deck did very well overall, but she's very underrated. So we have 3 of them. For the spells, it's kind of standard. 2 enemy controllers for protection because all of our monsters are very weak. 2 Super Rush Headlong for the same reason. You're running monsters with 1400, 1500 attack. They're gonna get run over if you don't have protection. I have Half Shot because it's a nice tech card to have. It can protect your monster from getting destroyed. You can use it with Amazonas Swordswoman. You can target your your Swordswoman and then attack into something with really high attack, so all that damage goes to your opponent, and you can do cool things like that. I also wanted to pair this with Amazonas Archers. That way I can target my Swordswoman, they all attack it, and then if they control multiple monsters, they're all gonna have to attack it. But this decreases their attack for 500, so it kind of defeats the purpose of it. But it's still another possibility of what you can do with it. Mirror Wall because it's a great card and it's another protection. Just one of them. If you don't have it, use whatever else, Metal Morph, something like that. 1 Queen's Pawn. I wanted to run it just because it's a new Amazonas card, and why not? And it's not too good, but it still works. When you get the effect off, it usually means a game for you. So I like it at 1. Same for Amazonas Willpower. It's a Call of the Hunted for your Amazonas. The downside is that they're forced to attack, and you can't change their battle position. But other than that, it's a free revival. It's still a good card. Also, the art it's amazing. And the Amazonas Archers that I already talked about, a really good card. I just got my 3rd one, but I didn't want to throw it in here because it's not the deck that I was running in the replays. So definitely running 3, it's really good. So I can only do replays for you guys today because I've been working a lot of overtime, and I don't have that. The overtime that I'm working, it's kind of taking the the time that I would put aside to be able to record. But I was using this deck throughout the day, so I got some cool replays, and I'm going to go ahead and make it a video for you guys. So first we're going up against Rex Raptor. These were all in gold, by the way. Just, you know, FYI. I'm going first. I have my my Amazonas archers, and then I have my paladin, which is an 1800 on summon. He tries to attack with his dino. I summon, I activate Super Rush, and he chains Order to Charge from the hand. So we both lose 2 cards. Neither one of us gain advantage. I do have my tiger, so I go for 1500. He tries to attack it. I activate the archers to decrease the attack of his dinosaur by 500, and because my tiger destroyed the card, I can activate Queen Spawn, and I get my Sage on the field, which, like I said before, the fact that I special summoned it during my opponent's turn, you know, it's a +1, and then with my other Amazonas, I was able to finish the game there. It's a cool card, but you know, your monsters are kind of weak. So you're going to be destroying a lot of your monsters with effects like you know, Super Rush, or maybe you're going to econ take. So destroying by battle is not as reliable. That's why the card is not, you know, you don't want to run two or definitely not run 3 of them. But I think running 1 is good. I mean, it's an Amazonas deck. You know, you're not gonna try to break the meta with this, at least not as it is. But anyway, here we're going second. My opponent just sets a card, so I summon the Swordswoman and I try to attack for 1500. He has the enemy controller, but I have plenty of protection. I have Queen Spawn is not protection, but I have a Super Rush Headlock. So I just flip that over when he tries to attack me with his Blue Eyes, and you know, gets immediately destroyed. I summon my Tiger, which is 1900, and you know, my opponent is down to 600 life points. He sets a card, and here I kind of misplay. I switch over my Swordswoman because I wanted to play around Windstorm. It ends up being Soul Resurrection. However, my opponent doesn't attack. He fears my face down, and I can just attack with Swordswoman into the 2500 wall. He's gonna take 1000 damage. Just an easy win. This duel against Yami Yugi, I'm actually gonna save it for last because that duel was so intense. Probably one of the best duels, or you know, the most intense duels I've had in a while. So I'm gonna save that one for last. Instead, we're gonna see another set of Kaiba. By the way, shoutouts to Brock as well, because he's like the Amazonas OG. You know, he made the Amazonas deck before all this support came out. So shoutouts to him for bringing light to the Amazonas. So here I use my trainee to send the Amirali's to the bottom of the deck instead of the graveyard, like I was telling you. And then he doesn't attack. He fears the back row, so I just summon my Tiger. Again, he doesn't attack, fearing the back row, so I just activate my Super Rush. I destroy the Fiend Mega Cyber. I go econ take just because I can, and I have willpower. That way, even if he had a Kuribo, I was gonna have enough damage to finish him off. So that's a kind of a cool interaction that you have with you know, willpower. You can just econ take and then summon your Amazonas again. Or if they attack into, you know, something like your Tiger, you can special summon an Amazonas that's gonna give them more attack, and then they have to stop their attack, or they're forced to attack your Tiger. This one's against a Bandit Keith, and this was actually like not too long ago, so I should remember the duel, but I actually don't remember what happens in this one. Oh yeah, he's running restart. I remember what happens now. So I have Queen's Pawn, I have Sage, which, you know, takes care of back row like I was telling you. So I just summon that, and I sit on my back row. He tries to attack me with Blue Dragon Summoner. I have the enemy controller waiting. I set another one. I attack with Amazonas Sage. He doesn't chain the face down, which was an enemy controller. And the reason why I attacked with Sage instead of Trainee is because I wanted to be able to activate Queen Spawn. And since Trainee sends them to the deck instead of the graveyard, you don't get the effect of. So I'm short 200 life points. He goes for Vanguard twice, but I guess he didn't realize that he had to attack into my Tiger. So they just crash, and next turn I attack the game. A pretty easy win, and kind of cool to be able to swarm the field with Queen Spawn. Again, when you get the effect up, it's a great advantage to you, but it's still not good enough to run multiples of. It's a nice one-up. And because you're running balanced, you have a 20% chance of opening with it, which is mainly when you would want to see it in your opening hand. So I think running one was good enough. But you can replace it with anything. Half shot, you can also replace it with anything. It's just some text that I have. Put whatever spell you want, put whatever trap you want. And now for this duel, so I start with Paladin. He doesn't summon anything. He lets me get a free pass, and I'm like, okay, I guess I have an easy game. I go for the attack on the Sage. He plays correctly by activating the enemy controller before the attack goes through. So I'm not able to destroy his strategist. He goes for the magic triangle. We all know the basic shenanigan of Ice Barrier. Destroying my Sage instead of my back row, which was a little surprising. I activate Amazonish Archer. And I want to stop it here because that was kind of a questionable play. I did lower all of his monsters' attack by 500, but I also took a ton of damage. And my reasoning behind that was that I needed to free up space for my willpower. I had a feeling, and I don't know if this happens to you guys, but sometimes you just know that you're about to get screwed by your deck. So I was like, if I don't draw anything next turn, I'm gonna lose. I didn't want to waste my enemy controller. I didn't want to waste my super rush. So I used my life points as a resource, took the damage instead, and then set my willpower. And look at that, half shot. That would have meant that I lost. Instead, I get my 1800 beater that they can't get over. He has the enemy controller, unfortunately, so I'm forced to use it on Paladin to survive. I survive with 100 life points. And like I mentioned again with willpower, you can't switch your monster back into attack. So I'm forced to have her in defense. I'm able to save her with half shot, and then next turn I get Sage. And I have another archers and a super rush headlong, so I'm not worried about having a 1400 monster in attack mode. I get my Tiger, destroy one of his monsters. I go super rush because I wasn't sure what would happen if I attacked the face down. Luckily enough, my Tiger was able to get over it anyways. He goes for a draw sense, spell and trap to get that magic triangle, which is it's a nice it's a nice play, I guess. This time he does the right play and destroys my face down, which unfortunately for me was my Amazoness archers. He then tribute summons for this ball guy that I don't know his name, General Ice Barrier, whatever. I activate Super Rush to save my Tiger and my life points, and I have to go full on defense, holding on to my 100 life points. He gets his protection, this monster protects his monsters from being destroyed by spell or traps. So I'm on the ropes. I have to set my Tiger and hope that he doesn't. Okay, I'm gonna pause it here once again. My opponent got too comfortable in my opinion. He didn't want to go for game. I don't know if he was trying to play around Windstorm, but he never switched his Dai Sojo into attack mode. So that let me survive 2 turns with only 2 monsters on the field. And I have 2 Amazonian Swordswoman, which actually are my winning condition, and then I top deck the best card in the game, Enemy Controller. I set the enemy controller, I attack into the wall of 2200 to get 700 damage on him. He destroys my monster to get another 1200 damage of him. I use enemy controller to save myself and then attack the wall once again. Pretty clutch comeback. I was down to 100 life points and then he was down to 200 life points. I came out with the win. I just thought it was an epic duel, and I'm glad I was able to share it with you guys. So here's the deck once again. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, shoutouts to Guns Blazing, shoutouts to Brock, because they've done Amazon's decks before. Uh, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Join my Discord if you haven't. You know, I'd love to hang out and talk to you guys. And until next time.